You bought the 6.2 for one reason: power. Not pretty good power, not fine power. You bought it because it's the engine that makes a full-size truck feel like it's cheating. But GM just exposed the part nobody wants to talk about. The 6.2 can come with a hidden repair bill so ugly it turns a paid-off truck into a payment again. I'm talking about the kind of failure where the dealer doesn't say repair, they say engine. And if you're out of warranty, that number can land right around $18,000 once parts, labor, calibration, fluids, towing, and downtime stack up. And here's the scary part: you don't always get a long warning. A lot of owners describe the same pattern: a weird noise, a light, a slight stumble, and then it escalates into a knock that makes your stomach drop. So today we're breaking down the 6.2 trap, the window sticker never warned you about, what GM's own recall and bulletins reveal about what's happening inside these engines, why a tiny oiling issue can snowball into catastrophic bearing damage, what the hidden service numbers are that actually get a dealer to take you seriously, and the early symptoms that can save you from becoming the guy staring at an out-of-warranty quote that looks like a down payment. Because the prize here isn't drama. The prize is catching it early enough that you don't eat the bill. Let's get into it. First, let's be clear on what engine we're talking about: the 6.2-liter L87. This is the premium gas V8 that lives in a huge chunk of GM's most popular trucks and SUVs: Silverado, Sierra, Tahoe, Yukon, Escalade. This is the engine people pay extra for because they want towing confidence, passing power, and the "I don't have to work it hard" feeling. And that's exactly why this feels like betrayal when it goes wrong, because the 6.2 is supposed to be the safe bet. But when GM has to issue a major recall over internal engine failures, that's not random bad luck. That's a pattern big enough they couldn't ignore it anymore. And the pattern points to one villain: bearing damage. Here's why bearings are the worst kind of problem. Your crankshaft and connecting rods survive because they ride on a microscopic film of pressurized oil. That oil film is literally the difference between a smooth-running engine and metal-on-metal destruction. When that film gets compromised by debris, by low oil pressure, by an internal defect, bearings start to wear. Once bearings wear, metal starts circulating in the oil. Once metal is circulating in the oil, the engine isn't slightly damaged, it's contaminated. And contamination doesn't stay in one place, it spreads. That's why these failures go from to oh no fast. And that's why the bill isn't a few hundred, it's engine. Now here's the first hard reality check. GM's recall paperwork and the federal investigation around this didn't happen because of 10 guys on the internet yelling. It happened because the complaint volume got too big to ignore. GM's own investigation referenced tens of thousands of field complaints or incidents potentially tied to these failures. And later, the federal side escalated the probe after over 1,000 reports of engine-bearing failures came in, even after a recall was already issued. That's not me trying to scare you. That's the system saying, this is widespread enough that we need to keep digging. So if you own a 6.2, the correct mindset isn't panic, it's awareness, because the trap isn't every 6.2 will fail. The trap is thinking it can't happen to you, until it does. So what exactly is GM saying is happening? The recall paperwork points to manufacturing and quality issues that can contribute to bearing damage. Things like contamination where it shouldn't be, and crank rod-related issues that can accelerate wear. Translation: some engines left the factory with problems you can't see from the outside. And here's why that matters for you. If the problem is internal, you don't prevent it with vibes. You prevent it by catching symptoms early, getting it documented early, and forcing the right inspection path while you still have leverage. Because once the engine starts knocking, the leverage disappears. Now let's talk about the hidden bill part. When people hear $18,000 engine replacement, they imagine one part with a crazy price tag. That's not how it hits you. It hits you in layers. A dealer invoice usually starts innocent. Customer states, ticking knocking noise, then it turns into verified concern, retrieved codes, checked oil level. Then the critical line, metal found in oil, or bearing material present. Once that line exists, the conversation changes permanently, because now the dealer isn't thinking repair a component. They're thinking protect ourselves from comebacks. So they recommend the most expensive, safest for them option: replace the engine. And once you're in engine replacement territory, the bill stacks like this. Engine assembly or long block. Labor hours that make your stomach flip. Fluids, filters, gaskets, seals, programming, and relearns. Sometimes additional parts they decide to replace while it's out. Sometimes more diagnostic time because they have to justify the claim. Then you add the invisible costs nobody talks about. Towing, rental, downtime, missed work, and the worst one, pressure. Because when you need the truck back, you accept numbers you'd negotiate harder if you weren't cornered. That's why it's a trap, not because it's guaranteed. Because when it happens at maximum financial disadvantage. If this is the kind of stuff you care about, not hype, just the real ownership math and the real failure patterns, you might want to subscribe. I post these breakdowns so you can avoid getting burned before the bill shows up. Now here's where the villain gets even clearer. A lot of owners treat oil pressure like a dashboard issue. Either the light is on or it isn't. But GM has a specific service bulletin that matters here, because it describes a scenario where an oil pressure code can show up due to an internal oil pump issue. The code is P0521, and the bulletin number is 24NA173. That bulletin talks about a condition where the oil pressure relief valve inside the oil pump assembly can stick, causing low oil pressure at hot idle and setting that code. Here's why you should care. Low oil pressure at hot idle is exactly the kind of condition bearings hate. Hot oil is thinner. Clearances are critical. The oil film is everything. So if your truck has P0521 history, or you've had oil pressure warnings, or you've had the oil pressure sensor replaced, and the issue came back, do not treat that like a minor annoyance. That's your engine raising its hand and saying, "Hey, pay attention." And if you ignore it long enough, the next sound you hear might be the knock that turns into the hidden bill. So how do you actually win this? You win by doing the opposite of what most owners do. Most owners wait until the noise is undeniable. By then, you're already playing defense. Here's the proactive playbook. First, check whether your truck is included in the recall population. Don't assume, verify. If it's included, schedule the inspection and get it on record. The earlier you're in the system, the better your odds of support if anything escalates later. Second, treat new engine noise like a stopwatch. There are normal sounds on modern trucks. Injector tick is common. Cold start chatter can happen, but a deep knock, a dull hammer sound, or anything that worsens under light throttle is not a let's see situation. If it's new, you document it immediately. Third, scan for codes, even if the light turns off. If P0521 is present now or stored in history, that matters. Screenshot it, date it, keep it. Because dealer and warranty conversations are often decided by one question. Did you report it early? Fourth, insist on a real oil pressure verification when oil is hot, at idle. Not we looked at the sensor, not we didn't see it today. Real verification. The point is to confirm whether the engine is actually maintaining pressure in the conditions that matter. Fifth, if there's any concern, don't keep driving it like normal. This is where people lose engines. They hear a noise, they keep commuting, they keep towing, they keep sending metal through the oil, and then they act surprised when the engine is beyond saving. Bearings don't heal, they only get louder. Now let's do the hard math that nobody wants to do. GM estimated only a percentage of the recall population is likely to have the defect. Let's pretend the odds are low. Even if the risk was just 3%, that's still a brutal equation because of the size of the downside. If the failure event is $18,000 out of warranty, 3% of that is a $540 expected cost hanging over the engine, before you even count towing, rental, downtime, and stress. And you might say, that's not that bad. But that's not how it feels in real life, because nobody experiences expected cost. One guy experiences $0, another guy experiences $18,000. That's why owners care. That's why this story keeps spreading. So, what's the verdict? The 6.2 isn't trash. The 6.2 is a monster when it's healthy. But GM exposed the reality that some L87 engines have an internal failure pathway where oiling and bearing damage can turn into a catastrophic repair bill. The trap is thinking you're immune because the truck still pulls hard today. The trap is waiting until the noise gets loud. And the trap is walking into a dealer with vague complaints instead of documented symptoms and the correct bulletin language. Here's the question I want you to answer honestly. Are you treating your 6.2 like it's invincible? Or are you treating it like a high-output engine that requires you to pay attention? Because the owners who avoid the hidden bill do three things. They verify recall involvement, they document symptoms early, and they take oil pressure-related issues seriously, especially P0521 history. If this video saved you from ignoring one weird noise, hit subscribe. Next video, I'm doing the dealer survival guide for this exact situation. What to say, what to request, and how to make sure you don't get brushed off until it's too late. And in the comments, drop your truck model, your mileage, and whether you've ever had a check engine light or any oil pressure code pop up. Let's crowdsource the truth and keep the next guy from getting burned by the engine he paid extra for.